Hello people. So when I was in middle school, actually I was in elementary school, my mom handed me the first book of Fablehaven and said, "This is a good series, you should read it." And I said, "The covers are terrifying, I don't want to read those books." She's like, "It's not like that, it's fine, you'll be fine." Read it, it was so good. And then when I was in high school, he decided to write a sequel series, Random did, called Dragonwatch. And because I was not a middle schooler anymore, I did not want to read this series quite as much. I was excited, really excited with the first one, and then I didn't realize books took like a year in between to come out because I was a child, so I thought it was just gonna come out all at once, and it didn't. So then I went and I read the second book. And I was like, whoa, wait a second, I'm gonna have to wait forever for the series to come out. I'll wait for them all to come out and then I'll read the whole series. Fast forward to now. It has been, when did this book come out? This was in 2017 when I decided to put the series down. It has been 8 years. 8 years? How old am I? No. 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 8 years since 2017. That's crazy. It's been 8 years, and I decided I'm going to finish the series. Not pictured are the rest of the books in the series because I literally just do not want to go up and grab them. They're over there. I just finished the first book a couple days ago, and now we're on to this one. And let me just say, I'm tired. I'm a little bit tired. I'm a little bit too old for this series now, but it has turned into one of those things where you have thought about it so often and you kind of are like, oh, I need to read that series, and now it's become a burden. Like, I have to finish this series or I'm never gonna be able to progress as a human being in my life. So let's finish the series together, shall we? Okay, I'm gonna section this video into like 2 parts. First, right now, I'm gonna give you like the intro, obviously, and then I'm gonna give you my thoughts when I finish reading all the books, and this will be the non-spoiler part. And then I'm gonna give you like where I read the books and I give all the spoilers about all I'm thinking about it, because I just kind of need to rant because these books are very rantable. But first, I'm gonna give you my non-spoiler idea of what I think the series is gonna be before I go into it. I finished reading Dragonwatch entirely before, and I finished reading this one entirely before. I don't remember a single thing. Like, when I was going into the series, I forgot almost literally every single thing about this. I remembered the big plot twist at the end of this book because it was the reason I didn't want to keep reading the series, because it was like really significant and I didn't want to have to wait in between books. But when I reread this book like 2 days ago, I was tired, and the reasoning as to why they're put in this plot situation at the beginning of this book, I can't even like really tell you what, because it kind of spoils the previous series, but like the reason they're put into this like situation, it kind of got on my nerves. I was like, why is this necessary? They're literal children, like, can't anyone else do this? And they try to like justify it in the book like multiple times as to why they have to do it, but I'm like, nah, if this was a real thing, like, they would have changed it, they would have figured out some way, like, this wouldn't have happened. But besides that, I did like the plot in this book. I liked how it ended. I liked how it circled back to a thing you see at the beginning. That was cool. I'm about 80 pages into this book, and I am a little bit getting tired, but just right now when I skipped to see what the end of this book was, because I couldn't remember whether the thing that happened was at the end of the third book or the second book, it was at the end of this book. I'm more excited because I want to see how they get there. But one thing that I do know going into this one is I know who the bad guy is. Like, I figured that out no, I didn't figure it out early on, but I remembered who it was early on. So I'm less trusting of that person, which I think is gonna not ruin my experience, but change it from when I first read it. But I am excited to see what happens after this book, because I thought I was gonna have to read one more book to get to books I haven't read before. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna have 3 books in this series I haven't read yet, and that is more fun than 2 that I haven't read, you know? So I'm excited to keep reading, but we shall see. We shall see. Alright guys, I don't think I got like any, no I did, I gave a video of me reading this book. I finished it yesterday. I'm so proud of myself, and now I'm on to Master of the Phantom Isle, which I read about 50 pages of this morning while I was doing my exercise. And let me just say, this story has higher stakes than Fablehaven ever did, and that is not a bad thing. I'm actually kind of glad, because if you just did Fablehaven over again, which is kind of what it feels like, it would be like obviously repetitive, but also a waste of a book. Because he does have really interesting stories, so I'm glad he didn't just go down that way that he could have done it. Here's my review on this book. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I also gave Dragonwatch 1 4 stars. I give it 4 stars mostly for nostalgia for the characters, and also because if I was a middle grader reading this series, I would have thought this was really cool. That's how I'm rating these. I'm not rating these with my personal taste, because if I was rating this with my personal taste, it'd be like a 3 star. But I'm rating them as a middle grader, like if I was in middle school, how I would have rated it. So that's kind of how I'm going into it. It was good. The ending is a very good cliffhanger. My only thing is I just have a problem with the dialogue because it's repetitive and the same. And then also, I feel like in these ones, he is making them talk a little bit longer than they used to, like going over the plan and stuff, like several times from different multiple people, which he didn't used to do as often, which is a little bit annoying. I've noticed it a little bit more at the end of this book and a little bit at the start of this one, but it's okay. It's not horrible, but honestly, this one I'm kind of skimming over it because I'm like, okay, I already know where this is going. Like, you're gonna go on this thing. So, but yeah, we're gonna start reading this one now, and well, continue reading it, I guess. I am interested to see what happens to Seth's character, because if you know what happens at the end of this one, it's a very big cliffhanger, and I'm interested to see where his cousins go, Knox and Tess. Anyway, I'm interested because fighting mean green monsters your reality. I got beef. You gotta beef with beef. Hello? Hey, girl. What's up? You're bored? Okay, say hello. This is the camera.
Hello.
This is my sister. She's coming to read a book with me. Do you want to tell them what you're reading?
It's The Best Kept Secrets by Sarah M. Eden.
This is the most recent one in the series, and she has binge read the entire thing in the past week? 2 weeks?
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Yeah. I'm very proud of her. I love their chemistry. It's so cute. They're like probably one of my favorite couples from the Huntresses. I have to think because like obviously Charlie and Artemis are my they're the best. They're technically not in the Huntresses series. Yeah.
They're in 3 different series, pretty much.
It's so good. I love it. And then in this one, you've already figured out that it's...
No.
I'm
literally on the 2nd page.
Oh, I shouldn't say anything.
Okay,
you'll figure it out.
And they're not perfect.
Uh-huh.
It gives me joy that they're not perfect.
I know, the Jonquils are idiots and it's the best. You just want to tilt it a little more that way.
Is it only 3 days until The Amazing Digital Circus episode 5 comes out?
I think so. I'm like not. Actually, I am excited. I forgot. I was like, there was one more thing I was waiting for because I have The Summer I Turned Pretty. Don't watch that. It's not a good show.
Okay.
It's entertaining though. I have The Summer I Turned Pretty. Phineas and Ferb, super excited about. We're still watching Hamster and Gretel. I'm excited for Percy Jackson season 2. Have you seen the first season?
No, but
so
I've heard
good.
It's so
good. Mom watched it. I don't know why, but she did.
I don't know why. I think she just was like, I want to watch the making of. I think she did that.
I got beef. Gotta beef with beef.
Gotta beef with beef.
I'm gonna take your mustache away.
Rosie, this book's calling you old.
Me? I know. I was reading and I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yo, it's Duke. I love him. Yeah, I finally made it to chapter 2.
Yeah, if I had known you weren't in chapter 2 yet, I wouldn't have ruined something for you. It wasn't ruined. I didn't ruin anything. It's just running through my brain while I read this book. I don't think I read a single word of this page. I was just thinking, mumbo jumbo away, okay. Well, I think it's time for bed. I need to go to work in the morning, which is the worst, but that's fine.
You're a busy child.
I am. Where did my bookmark go?
It got eaten?
Probably. This is how I lose them. I just
Yes, same.
disappear. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Right. Good night. Cheers. Based on my Apple mirror, you're resting against an apple, and I can see the apple in the mirror that I have behind it. It's not an apple mirror. I don't think that even exists. So I started reading the 4th one. I completely finished the 3rd. I must say I'm getting just so tired. so tired because I'm reading so many middle grade books back to back to back, which I have to say, I have to give a little disclaimer right here because I'm going to be like complaining for a bit. I'm 21. These books are meant for like 10, 13, 14, 15 year olds. And I am not that age anymore. And it is a huge detriment to my reading experience because if I was that age, I would have liked them a lot. So I'm rating these books based on how I would have rated them when I was that age. So I rated the third one 3.75 stars because it was good, but it wasn't my favorite. So rated at that. This one so far, I'm tired, but I'm excited because I only have 2 books left. I'm so tired, but it's okay. I got this. I'm gonna sit down today and just try to read as much of it as I possibly can. Honestly, if I can finish it today, I would be so happy. I don't know if I will. I don't have anything else I need to do today. Things I can do, but the only thing I need to do today is just read this book. So I'm gonna sit down for a couple hours, just read it, pound it out. Hopefully I'll get this done. Hopefully. There's more fetch quests, and I don't know why that's making me so annoyed because I knew this whole book is just a series of fetch quests. But now Kendra has to go on fetch quests, along with Seth. Seth's fetch quests I'm actually interested in. Kendra's, I don't care because I don't think the Dragon Slayers are gonna be useful. They never are. The Eternals weren't useful, and it feels like she's just finding more Eternals that aren't actually going to be helpful. And I know the Sphinx is going to get into this somehow, and I just don't care. Like, I care about Seth. I legitimately almost hate Kendra because she, like, even the things she does wrong somehow end up not mattering. And so it just is annoying me so deeply. Like, I have a list of all the things she's done wrong that I'm going to tell you at the end of the video when I, like, read the entire thing and compile it. But, like, it's getting on my nerves. Also, I don't know if you can see me, so hopefully you can. I am 275 pages in, and I have 609 pages. So I'm a little under halfway through. I got this. I told myself I don't need to read the whole book today. I just want to read like 75%. So that's something like 200 pages. That much. I can read that much today. That's easy. I'm unsure how well you can see me or hear me, but because we have just the worst wildfires around us and it's really windy, they shut off our power. Oh, ow. I just got sand blown into my legs. That's fun. So, ending this video might take a little bit longer because I don't want to use up my battery charger and we don't know when the power's going to get turned back on because they have to check the power lines to see if there's going to be sparks to set off another wildfire. So, we'll see. We're finished. I don't know if I'm in frame, by the way. I should probably figure that out. I should probably take my hair out. I do not know what it looks like. I have been doing nothing all day but read the 5th Dragonwatch book. I woke up and my 2 goals today were to do my laundry and to finish that book. My hair is... It's been a thing. As you know, we had a whole like fire thing going on and then the power went out and it's just been a whole thing. But I didn't end up giving you my official rating for this book. I think I ended up giving it 4.5 stars, maybe 4.25. I liked this one. I did really enjoy this one. The first, like, this much of it was almost intolerable because I was just so sick of fetch quests. But When we finally got to the end of it, I was really enjoying it, and I really liked the way that it turned at the end, and I liked, not the resolution, because it's not really a resolution because it's the 4th book in the series. It was an interesting ending. The very last book I did really enjoy. I gave it a 5 stars because if I read it as a middle grader, I would have really loved it. As it is right now, it's probably like 4.25 stars for my taste right now, but I did really enjoy it. There were parts where I teared up. I thought it was really cute. I did really like the ending. I do think this is a very great series for middle graders. As I've said before, it is a very good series. I'm a little old for it, but it's very good. Then, I didn't tell you about these, but I checked these 2 books out at the same time because while I was checking out books at the library, I was like, I might as well just grab them all. I think my hair is terrible. It's been so windy. It feels snarled. Like, I can feel it. We're just gonna put it behind me and pretend that my hair doesn't exist right now. Anyway, so we have The Legend of the Dragon Slayer, which is like the origin story of Dragonwatch, and this is Adventure's Guide to Dragonwatch, both by Brandon Mull. So this one is an extrapolation of a short story that's in the book explaining something that goes on in it, and I did actually really like this one. I liked like the way it was given. I liked like the extra stuff that he added that made it feel more like a real like short story. It was really cute. The pictures though, kind of terrifying, I'm gonna be honest, especially when they have like just any human picture. Like, I don't know why, but that just makes me feel uneasy a little bit. And then also this specific picture somewhere, this right here, this picture, the child, can you see the child? The child is terrifying. This one right here, those eyeballs, and also the people are just like vaguely terrifying. Also people, please tell me that is not a horse. That is like a terrifying slug. Like that neck. Horses do not have crinkles in their neck. I will put in a picture of a horse, kind of similar to this, so you can see that this is not what a horse's neck looks like. It is, as a horse girl, it is an atrocity. And then they even bring it back again, like right here. Horrifying. Hate that. Oh, it makes me so horrible. So this one was, I think I ended up rating it like 4 stars, purely for the horse. The horse threw me off. This one though, I didn't enjoy because it's one of those like glossaries where they tell you about like all the characters and all these people, but normally I'm fine with those if they write it in different wording than they use in the book itself, but in this one it's just straight the descriptions out of the book with little to no variation, and it kind of gets on my nerves, honestly. So don't love, kind of annoyed by it, honestly, but it was fine. I ended up reading it. I ended up rating it 5 stars. No, 3 stars, because even when I was younger, I didn't really enjoy books like this. So those are my official ratings for every single one of the books in the Dragonwatch series. The other ones I've already returned to the library because they're way overdue. So I'm going to return these to the library, like probably in a couple days, because it's Sunday tomorrow, so I can't return them to the library. But on Monday, these are going to be returned to the library, and I will feel so much relief off of my shoulders because I won't have overdue library books constantly. And now I only have 2 other books that I need to return to the library. It's going to happen. It really will. Probably. Anyway, I'm very excited that the series is done. Like, so excited. This ends the spoiler-free version of this vlog. I'm going to rant some more about spoilers in the spoiler section if you want to watch that part. But as for the spoiler-free part, thank you for coming along with me. I do really recommend this series for middle graders. I would not recommend it to people my age, even though it is really cool and it's an interesting idea. It just is a little bit harder to read when you're older, but that's okay. Everyone has their style and their tastes, and I do think if I read this series when I was younger, I would have loved it, and that was a missed opportunity, but that's all right. I have other series that I love, which is amazing because books are everywhere and I get to read whatever I want, and that is the best part of life, honestly, is the fact that I get to read whatever books I want whenever I want. So this is a stone that's gone from around my neck. I can move on with my life and I can stop telling myself that I need to read these books. Anyway, if you don't want to see the spoiler part, goodbye, love you, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah! Alright y'all, so Fablehaven just ended, right? So they have the demons, they're stuck in the demon prison with the new demon prison, which is the fairy realm. Now the fairy realm is being made out of the demon prison. I thought that was so cool when I was younger. It's still like a decent plot twist, but I'm way older than the intended audience for these books. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. As a middle grader, I think this would have blown me away, but I'm tired and I'm a little bit bored. Them having to be the caretakers of the Dragon Sanctuary makes no sense. I'm just gonna say it, it makes absolutely no sense. I know they're trying to like make it make sense. It doesn't. It makes no sense. I don't understand as to why that had to be the reason, but it just, I don't get it. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan. So yay. take that as you will. But the rest of the book was fine. I liked Seth using Nox as his go-between with the dragons as the callback to the beginning of the book. That was interesting. Now we're on to this one. I know that Ryonin is a dark unicorn, but here are the things that before I understand how it all works, this is what I don't understand. In this book, you meet Ryonin, and you know that what's his name, Bracken, is looking for Ryonin because it's his cousin or whatever, like, because all the unicorns are related. So how is Ryonin said, doesn't he say, like, this is my son or something like that? Like, I'm pretty sure that Dalgarel is evil, obviously. Ryonin is evil and he's the dark unicorn. What do they call him in this though? Gareth? Yeah, Gareth is Gareth is the dark unicorn. Yeah, it says I am Gareth, second son of Lord Dalgarel. So, as we know, the fair folk are, like, related to fairies somehow. So does that mean that Dalgarel is a unicorn? Does that mean that all these are descendants of unicorns and that's why they're so attractive? Or is he lying that it's his son and he's evil and he's keeping him? I just want to know, because I talked to my sister and she was like, yeah, you never really get answers. And I'm like, I'm hoping you're forgetting that they give you answers, because I can't handle if they don't. I'll go insane. I need to know why. Anyway, that's my reactions to it right now at this point, but I'm gonna go read some more of this book and I will give you my updates later on as to how I'm feeling. Can you tell I'm getting a little bit tired? I'm not, like, tired in the way that, like, I don't want to read the series ever again. I'm sick of it. I'm just tired in the way, like, I have read so many middle grade books back to back. I finished these two within days of each other, and I finished the series, like, in the couple months up till now, and I just have decided I need to finish Dragonwatch, like, immediately. I'm so tired. So my goal in my head is I want to finish them this month, but, like, unrealistic goals, I want to finish them this week. That's not happening because it's Saturday, but tired. Anyway, I'll see you later. Wait, so he's not Ryonin? Then why is he so... Okay, I guess he's not. He's just a mood. Okay. I'm confused. Alright, spoiler review time, guys. So, this book, for some reason, I thought that I'd stop reading 3 books in, and I think it's because this book sense of scale and purpose of, like, you know what you have to do next is kind of different from the original books. Like, in the original books, you know, okay, we gotta go save the chronometer. It's not there, we gotta get it from Fablehaven. We need to go save this thing from this thing and this thing and this thing. And that's what made the first 4 books so good, because you knew exactly, like, okay, we gotta go save this, we gotta go save this, we gotta go save this, we gotta go save this. And it made it feel more direct. And then obviously there's things going at Fablehaven and this and that, but you had, like, this sense of purpose, like, you need to stop the demon prison from opening. But in this series, it's so vague. Like, you just need to stop the dragons from taking over, but, like, you don't know exactly, you know exactly what's gonna happen if the dragons take over. They're gonna pillage and plunder and burn things to the ground, but you don't know, like, exactly how to stop them from doing that. And I assume that they're gonna get this, like, really big overall plan, maybe actually even in this book, but this book specifically, you just had to go save the doohickey from the dragons, and you didn't even know about the doohickey until halfway through, and it just kind of felt like he's writing things in to make things take more time until he gets to his real plot, which is okay. And I feel like he just wanted to get to the point where Seth's memory got erased, but it also kind of, for the reader, was hard, because you're like, I don't know what we're doing. Like, I know we have to, like, agree and play nice, but, like, I don't know why we're playing nice. Like, I don't know what the consequences of this would be. Like, they do lay it out, but it's not like, they don't feel real because you never see the consequences, which is what made Seth's memory wipe interesting. But you know he's gonna get his memory back. And I was thinking there's several ways they could do it. He still owes a thing to the singing sisters, which they did bring up in the first book, so that could have something to do with it. He now has to do, like, a task for the Under King, which is interesting. I don't know, I feel like Seth's character is gonna be really interesting. My sister did say that Seth is her favorite character. Kendra's character, I really want her to take a downward spiral and start shooting things with her bow. Like, I want her to go into full psychotic breakdown because she's so perfect and it drives me crazy, and I want her to do something wrong for once in her life. And I think she might. From just what I'm seeing at the beginning of this, I think she might, and I'd be totally fine with that. Like, Seth becoming a dragon tamer but still being good, and Kendra being a fairy queen but becoming evil. That would be so interesting. I don't think he's gonna do that, but I think it'd be interesting. I had so many opinions of reading this book, but, like, none of them really mattered. Like, I thought I knew who the unicorn was, because I'm like, oh, it makes total sense. There's this person hidden at the front, and he's acting like he's so good, but obviously he's a foil for Bracken, so he's gonna be evil. No. Ryonin the dark unicorn just shows up and is like, yo, dude, I'm the unicorn. Hi. Like, it ruins the suspense, because, like, you know who he is the whole time. So, like, I really want Gareth or Girl or Gardel or whatever his name is in the first book to be evil, but he's not going to be evil. And I know the fair folk are eventually going to come and rise up and, you know, help either the dragons or the good people. Either would be fine. Just make them do something. Anyway, those are my thoughts right now. I am actually very interested. Like, since I've read all the books that I've read before, I now am so interested to read the books that I haven't read. So it's gonna be fun. But I'm a little tired. But I also, like, really want to just, like, read them all so quickly, get them all done, so I can return them to the library, because I got a notice from my library saying that the one book that I haven't been able to renew, I think it's on hold or something, it's the final notice for it, and they're gonna assume that it is missing, and so I don't want that to happen. So I want to read this quick, but I also don't want to return it to the library because I'd have to, like, give it to the next person in line, so I want to just read them as quick as possible. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna get out the door for the day and hopefully get some more reading done and editing and all that stuff. I'll see y'all later. Okay. So Calvin is with Seth. Does the Underking notice that Calvin's with him? Because I know he's always like, I'm Nipsey. Nipsey's get through things.
I think he just doesn't mind.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Like, obviously they're not actually gonna get to save either one of them in this book. It's the third book in the series. That's not gonna happen, but...
You're too clever for your own good.
I've just read so many books.
So have I.
I know. How are you liking this one so far?
It's Eve. Yeah.
I love
Or should
Eve.
I say Neve? Because that's
True.
how you actually say her name.
So I finished the third book. Here's my review on it. I liked it. It was a little bit more boring. Like, not in a bad way, just in like you don't really know where the book is going. Like, it's just a series of fetch quests, but you don't know which one is leading to what one. And the person that is the most interesting is the one that you don't get as much screen time for. So it's kind of hard to get through, but I still rated it 3.75 stars because it was good. I already started this one, the fourth book. We're getting into this one now, so we'll see what I rate that one. All right, people. So I just finished recording the unspoiler version. I finished reading the fourth book. I didn't tell you anything about it because I literally picked up this book immediately after, and I just was like, I have to keep going. I'm on a roll at this point. So I spent all day reading this one. Day before that, reading this one. My end rating for this one is 4.25, I think, because honestly, it was getting on my nerves. I wanted Kendra to have more of a role, because her role is always just like, be a pretty girl, do something good, maybe make a mistake, barely, and then everything's fine, and her mistake didn't even matter. Like, she didn't even have any, like, deep-seated trauma because her brother's gone. Like, that was at the beginning of the book, and then when she realizes he's alive, it's kind of, like, gone. Where, like, if it was my brother out doing stuff by himself, I would be like, no, where is he? Let me go find him. Like, I would be fighting the whole time trying to find my brother. But no. Even at the end, like, they didn't have a very satisfying reconciliation. Like, that did not make me feel happy at all. Just, like, the end reconciliation. But anyway, in the fourth book, I really did enjoy the end of it. I liked the humbuggle in his games. That was really cool. Is that his name? I think so. Anyway, I liked his games. I liked the way it ended. That was really interesting. I liked the unforgiving blade. That's a really interesting idea. It was very dark. A lot of things in this series are, like, unexpectedly dark. That's the one thing. So many characters died in this series. Like, in Fablehaven, it was because they're for a good cause, right? In this one, it was people that did not even sign up for it that ended up dying. And that really got on my nerves. Like, this one, there's a character that's a human. We don't have, like, a regular human person who knows nothing about magic die before. And that happened in this book. Normally, they're protected. But she gets eaten by a dragon. And that, like, hurt me inside, actually. I literally, like, turned the page and I was like that, because it's so annoying to, like, have a character who you're like, you're safe, I know you're safe, and then they're not, and it just, like, yeah, it shocked me, but not for a good reason. That was probably my main criticism with just these series, was just, like, so many people died, and it felt so unnecessary. Like, even Vanessa's getting blinded felt so unnecessary because it meant nothing. Because even after that, she's still able to help them. It doesn't mean anything for her character development. Like, she doesn't even really care. Warren cares more about it than she does. Also, Warren and Vanessa's relationship is just an excuse for both of them to come to things. Also, Warren stopped being a punching bag. That's nice. But then it turned into, like, who turns into the punching bag now? Bracken. Bracken turned into the punching bag. He's literally, like, so useless in this series. He does nothing. Like, he shows up in the first book. You see him for, like, 5 seconds until his mother's like, no, I need your help. And then he gets captured immediately. Shows up at the end of the last book. Apparently does something useful that I don't even know what he did. And then he becomes a human and kisses Kendra. And that's how that ended. Oh, I didn't tell you how I rated this book yet. I rated it 5 stars. Because if I was a young child reading this book, I would have loved it. As I am right now, as you can tell, it's like a 4.25 star because there's so many problems with it. But it was fun. It was fun. Here, let me give you my list of the compiled list of everything that Kendra did wrong in this entire series. It fits on a post-it note. There are 3 things on here. So, this is in Fablehaven and Dragonwatch combined. So, she threw the bowl to the Naiads, which isn't like entirely her fault because her grandpa said that she can throw the bowl to the Naiads and it'd be fine. But she threw the bowl to the Naiads. That's the only thing she did wrong in the entirety of Fablehaven. And oh my goodness, it got on my nerves. And then also in this series, she shot the bow and got rid of the invincibility cloak, which actually had consequences, which I enjoyed the fact that something she did wrong had the consequences, and she did bring it up later and felt bad about it. I liked that. We love the fact that characters can have accountability and it's not just Seth. And then in this book, the 4th book I think, she attacked Ryonin, the Dark Unicorn, making the Giant Queen not trust her because she lied about the fact that she attacked Ryonin. And to be honest, I love the fact that she snapped. I said earlier that I really desperately wanted her to snap and just like become this dark version of Kendra, which would have been a lovely parallel. Honestly, it would have been so cool to see like the light person become dark and then Seth trying to fight against his darkness. That would have been so cool, but no, they didn't do anything cool. She just ended up having to do a bunch of fetch quests that didn't even matter because the Dragon Slayers, I don't even know if they mattered at all in that final battle. I'm gonna be honest, I was so checked out, I was so tired. All I know is that Seth killed the Dragon King. Cool. Wonderful. Seth's part of this book was the most interesting thing. Like, anything Seth was doing, so interesting. Like, my sister says that he became hot, and like, I guess so. I'm not in the age range to think that he's an attractive character. My sister is, so good for her. Also, mentally, in this entire series, I thought that it was at least 2 years after the events of Fablehaven. And I kind of on purpose did that because the fact that Seth was 13 going through all of this hurt my soul. So mentally I aged up the characters, and Kendra is now 17 and Seth was 15 during the events of this whole series, which to be honest is not any better, but like it's a little bit better than 13. I don't know why they couldn't have just like grown up for 2 more years. That would have been so much cooler. Hear me out. They could have grown up for 2 more years. Seth could have gone through some traumatizing stuff and he would have felt more like an adult, and this would have felt more like an adult because he acts like an adult this whole series. Like in the last series, he felt like a kid, but in this series, like after his memories are gone, he feels like an adult. So it would have been cool to see that difference between like the teenager to adult kind of swap after he accidentally does terrible things. That would have been cool. And also Kendra, she could have been like balancing her relationship with Bracken more, because it could have been like, well, I'm like, you know, about to turn 18 soon. I don't know if he's gonna like actually want to date me. It's kind of a weird relationship. And then it would have made more sense than her being still 15 and having a crush on a guy. Because like when you're 15, no one's 15-year-old crushes really ever turn into anything, except for the lucky few. But it just kind of felt like she never did anything wrong, and the things she did do wrong had no bearing on the plot really, except for shooting the bow with the invincibility cloak. That's the only thing that had any bearing on the plot. And even then, like, it just felt weird. Okay. Here's my other thing that I was thinking. So this series, at the end of it, kind of felt like Loki season 2. Because in Loki season 2, they have a bunch of random things in the episodes leading up to it that kind of feel pointless. Like, why are we doing this? What is the point? And then you get to the very last episode and everything makes sense, that it had to be done because of this reason, right? This series felt like that, where all the other books led up to this, they just were messing up and failing and nothing worked and everything was falling apart. And the only interesting thing was what Seth was doing. And it just, like, it kind of felt like this slow degradation, slow falling apart of everything in the entire world, which is how Fablehaven also felt, but it felt less plotless, I guess. That's the word I'm trying to use. There's less plot in this series than in Fablehaven, which is okay, but it was kind of annoying to read up to the last book, and then finally there's a plot in the last book, you know. Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. I literally just finished this series. I love the Singing Sisters and their whole role in this entire events. That was really cool. I actually really enjoyed that. I enjoyed them letting go of Seth. I loved him being able to, like, get rid of all of his debts and, like, have nothing to do with anything. I love the fact that he still has wings in the mortal world. That's so cool. One thing I really wanted was to see them interact with their parents. And I know that there is another series with Newell and Doreen, the Satyrs, and I think I might wait, like, at this point, what does it matter if I wait another year or a couple months to read it? I do want to read those books, actually, because I know that's the very last books that he has planned, Brendan Mull has planned to be written in Fablehaven series world. So I do want to read those books, and I think that might tie up the loose ends a little bit more, which would be cool. I liked Bracken giving up his mortality for Kendra. That was pretty cool. And I liked, there's one scene that I do think was like legitimately interesting ideas wise. A lot of these scenes, because I'm older, I couldn't really picture them in my brain as well. I couldn't like picture the world as vividly as I could when I was younger, because there is, either there's too much imagery or there's not enough imagery. My brain just can't like concentrate something, I don't know. But the one thing that I got was Nox as the giant king, and he's sitting there at the feasting with the table, and then Seth comes down from the sky and lands. That is so clear to me in my brain of how he acted and how he looked, and the tone of his voice when he was like in that grim dark was like interesting, and I could sense that it was different, and I liked that. I thought that was really cool. I'm kind of blabbering on at this point, but you get what I mean. I did enjoy this series. I have some flaws with it inherently because I'm 21 reading it, but I did enjoy it. And I think it was cool. Oh, yeah. 2 other books to talk about. I also read these 2, which if you read the rest of the video, you know what I'm talking about. This one, The Legend of the Dragon Slayer, it was really cool to see the legend of the Dragon Slayer that pops in this book, I think, get more fleshed out. That was pretty cool. I liked that. I kind of wish that they included the stuff that you learn in the 5th book about like the source and stuff like that in this one at the end of it. That would have been really cool. I was kind of waiting for it, but I do think this one was published before the 5th book came out, and he didn't want people to read this before this and then spoil it for themselves, so I understand that. This one was dumb. I didn't enjoy it, but that's okay. It wasn't, I'm not the target audience for this sort of a book, so that's fine. But finally, I am done. Finally, my ranting is at an end. Finally, I do not have to go about my life saying I did not finish Dragonwatch or Fablehaven. After I finished this last book, this one was the last one I finished today. I literally put it down and I felt this like weight off of my chest, like, oh, I finished it. I'm done. I don't have to think about this anymore. And it felt amazing, and I'm so excited to literally wake up tomorrow and read whatever I want, and I don't have to be tied down to these books any longer. And it only took me a week. It is Saturday after, it's literally a week after I first started this video, and I think I was on the 2nd book then. So I have read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in a week, and the last 2 were like over 500 pages. So I think that's pretty cool. I've been doing pretty good. I'm so tired though. It helps that I've actually stayed on track with my editing and stuff, so I just could read. Funny how being on top of things makes you less stressed. Who knew? Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed because it is nighttime, if you can't tell. The power outage thing ended up being fine. It ended up only being for like 2 hours. I honestly thought it was gonna be for like 5 days. I don't know why. My brain just always goes to like the worst possible conclusion whenever the lights go out, like the power. But it ended up being okay. I was worried that if it went out too long, then everything in our fridge was gonna go bad. But I think that they on purpose tried to keep it as short as possible so it wouldn't end up getting to that point. So that was nice. Anyway, I will see y'all in the next video, which I really want to do the Summer I Turned Pretty rereading, and also including like me watching the show. I don't know how I'm gonna make that work because normally I watch it on my phone, but I might end up watching it on my computer. We'll see. I don't know. I'm really hoping I can get Amazon Prime for free for a month to watch it. I don't need to worry as much about watching it on time because I've been staying out of Instagram lately. And so as long as I don't scroll, I won't get any spoilers for myself. And so if I want to watch them all at once, I can. And also, Sarah and Destiny don't do their podcast anymore, so they're not going to be talking about them weekly. So I can wait if I need to, because I do not know when I'm going to be able to get all the books together. So hopefully I'm not going to have to buy the first book because I'm like 3 in line at the library. And as we know, people do not return their library books on time. I'm talking about myself. All of these are overdue. Every single one that you see is overdue right now, or going to be overdue by the time I return it. So that's fun. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. I literally do not know what it's going to be, but I'll see you then. Goodbye.